ones. So a quadratic equation is one where the highest power of the variable is equal to 2. And the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is the leading coefficient. So at this point, don't be in a rush to get this in your notebook. Be in a rush to understand it. You've learned it before. You probably went through a review with it as well. And this might very well be the last time you get a chance to actually learn this stuff. So we got to take this in properly. So what is your leading coefficient? It is the coefficient of the x squared variable. Remember, we're talking about quadratics. The highest power is 2. The coefficient is that number that is being multiplied by the variable with the highest power. That's the leading coefficient. So A in this form is the leading coefficient. B is the coefficient of the x variable. And C is just your constant. All right? And all we're talking about here is standard form. Standard form. And of course, quadratics. So now I'm going to teach you how to factor this quadratic equation. First of all, not all quadratic equations can be factored. But if this one can be factored, this is how we do it. I'm going to take the constant. I'm actually going to take the product AC because A is 1 in this case. So I'm going to say 1 times minus 6. And I'm going to say I need two numbers, which we call factors, that multiply to give me C, or minus 6, and add to give me B, which is positive 5. So if I have minus 6 multiplied by 1, I will get negative 6. That means these two are factors. But when I add these two together, I get negative 5. That is not positive 5. That is not what I'm looking for. If I multiply negative 3 and a positive 2, yes, those are factors. They do give me negative 6, but when I add them, I get negative 1. That's not what I'm looking for. If I say 3 multiplied by negative 2, which is different than negative 3 divided by positive 2, I still get negative 6. So they are factors, but when I add them, I get positive 1. Not what I'm looking for. But if I do positive 6 times negative 1, that gives me negative 6. And when I add them, I do get positive 5. That's what I'm looking for. Those are the factors I'm looking for. So now I say x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 1. I have now factorized this. I have factorized this quadratic equation. Now let's check it to make sure. Very important. So let's multiply this through. So I'll put a check mark here, but then I'll put a question mark. So now when I multiply this through, I'm going to get x times x, which is x squared, x times negative 1, which is negative x, 6 times x, which is 6x. 6 times -1, which is -6. Now I have like terms here, x and x. So now I have x squared plus 5x minus 6. Therefore, this is correct. I factorized correctly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you one to try over here. And in addition to giving you time to try, I'll give you time to get some notes in as well. All right? So what you want to do is you want to get some notes in, and you want to give this next problem a try. So go ahead and get some notes in, and I'll put that problem up there for you to try. And what I'll do is I'll give you 5 minutes. Let's go with 4 minutes. 4 minutes to try this. 4 minutes to try this. And get some notes in. All right, let's go with 4 minutes.